Japan against Italy this weekend, folks, in the Nations Championship. Potentially the forgotten game, or at least the game which is going to fly under the radar a wee bit. I feel like amongst the English-speaking, neutral-watching fans, Italy and Japan aren't the biggest draw. Sadly, I think they're going to miss out, people who don't watch this one, because I think this could be an interesting match. You got 10th up against 12th in the world. Japan's at home. They only get 2 home games in this Nations Championship this year, and this is their best shot to win one. I say that because they've also had a game preparation a week ago against the Māori All Blacks, so they're ahead of the game, the Japanese. If there's a game they're going to be targeting, it is, I feel like, this one, and you got some pretty good players on display from both sides. Remember, Italy will be looking, they don't want to be drawn down to Japan. They want to be looking up with some of the big boys ahead of them as well, so they can look to make a statement themselves. Let's go through the key players. We'll try to keep it pretty quick. And predictions, you guys can let us know your thoughts on how you reckon this one is going to go. For Japan, they did lose to the Māori All Blacks 38-31 last week, but put in some decent performances, and it was good experience building for some of the lads. The guys to look out for, you can probably narrow it down if we're keeping it short. Warner Dearns, absolutely. If you've watched Super Rugby at all this year, you will have seen him playing for the Hurricanes. He's a Kiwi, but he's been in Japan for years. He's the Japanese captain. Amazing player. I think would be in the All Blacks if he was available. He was one of the stars of that Hurricanes team, which went to a Super Rugby title. So he's back for them. Saito is back from Toulouse at 9, so he's going to be the general around the paddock, and he's going to be helping out the guy outside him, Ito, who's getting his debut. He did play against the Māori All Blacks last week, but that's not a test. But he's a youngster. He's filling in for Sing-Shun Lee, the normal 10 for Japan, who's having surgery. So Ito, who did a lot of kicking and carrying last week, is going to have a bit of pressure taken off him by having Naoto Saito at number 9. You've still got some of the veterans around, like Michael Leach is still there. He's on the bench now. He's not starting at this point. You've got a big unit in Michael Stolberg coming off. I've forgotten about this guy. Totally haven't seen him play for years. Not since he played for the Sunwolves, but he's a big unit of a player. He's in his 30s already, but he's going to be getting his debut from the bench. They got 3 really big, quite tall dudes in Harry Hawkins, Warner Dearns, and Michael Stolberg to bolster their kind of second row efforts. Shimokawa is a great tackling machine around the paddock, and they've got Tiernan Costly as well, who is on the bench, who was like the top tackler in the Japanese league. He tends to be an absolute tackling machine, and to be fair, so does Harada, the hooker, who was also playing over here in Super Rugby, not quite the same level as Warner Dearns because he was kind of a bit part player, the hooker for Moana Pacifica as a reserve. But Harada at hooker scored a try last week. Definitely another guy to look out for. They are going for 6-2 split, looking to beef up the forwards a wee bit in preparation to face this Italian side. Their scrum's going to be important because I feel like the Italians, for their side, have picked a couple of their better scrummaging props. Fischetti and Riccioni are both starting. I feel like they will like to turn the screws on the Japanese. At scrum time, they've got a couple of big lumps in their second row as well, and Zambonin and Nicola Conone. Nicolo gets through a lot of work, and Zambonin is a huge human being. So, yeah, up front, they'll be looking to be physical. Trombina is going to get his debut, the Zebra man at number 6, and likewise Faisal on the right wing. So a couple of Zebra guys getting their debut against Japan, but otherwise, like Lamaro at 7, that's same tackle machine, captain. Lorenzo Canone looking to get carries and turnovers at 8. Vani and Garbisi. Italy, interesting, like kick from 9 and 10. It's a pretty even split, but Garbisi is a veteran at this point at 10. Montiuani still there. Menoncello is probably the Dearns of the Italian lineup, though, because he is the absolute star player. What wasn't he doing in the Six Nations? Turnovers, tackling busts, setting up tries, doing a bit of everything. So Tommaso Menoncello, it's worth watching him anytime he is available to watch. 5-3 split for the Italians, so a little bit kind of more, I don't want to say generic, but a little bit more of what we're kind of used to seeing in terms of the standard splits between the benches. Recent history between the sides, 3-2 in favor of the Italians. They've won the last 3 in a row. They did lose back in 2018, back in 2014, if we're looking at the last 5, but the recent games have all been in Italy's favor. The last one was 42-14, so the Italians actually took that step above the Japanese in terms of, like I say, looking up rather than down. The previous one to that was also 42-21. So they've had some big wins over the Japanese in their last couple of matches, both in Italy and over in Japan. How is this one predicted to go? Well, the Italians are favourites, but only by 8 points with the bookies and 4 points with the rugby forecast algorithm. So this one, over in Tokyo, it's going to be summer. Nick Berry is the ref, is predicted to maybe be a little bit closer than some of those recent results. But like I said, Italy need a nice big win to get their campaign underway and to show that they can rock it with the big boys. For Japan, they need to show that, they're also a team that belongs in this nation's championship. You guys let me know your thoughts. What are your predictions? Are you going to watch this one? Or is this one likewise flying under the radar for you? Take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.